Hello, English learners. Have you ever dreamed of starting something small and watching it grow into something huge, like a tiny seed becoming a massive tree? That's the magic of Silicon Valley, where ordinary people with big ideas built tech empires that change the world. In this part one of our story, we'll focus on the early pioneers, Steve Jobs of Apple and Bill Gates of Microsoft. These real-life builders started in garages and dorm rooms, facing failures but never giving up. Their journeys show the power of persistence and innovation, turning simple ideas into global companies. Later, in Part 2, we'll explore Google, Amazon, and Meta. The theme for this part is starting small and thinking big. You'll see how these entrepreneurs took risks, overcame obstacles, and created language we use today, like turning company names into everyday verbs. It's all told in a fun, story-like way, with dialogues and vivid scenes to help you practice real English. We'll include idioms such as think outside the box, phrasal verbs like build up, and practical phrases for work or life, such as pitch an idea or keep going. Now, let's dive into the story. Imagine we're traveling back in time to the birth of tech giants, narrated slowly for easy listening. Let's set the scene in the sunny suburbs of California during the 1970s. The world was different back then. Computers were huge machines locked away in big offices, used only by experts. No one imagined having one at home. But two young men did. Steve Jobs, a creative thinker with long hair and a passion for design, and his friend Steve Wozniak, a genius engineer, were working in a cluttered garage. This wasn't just any garage. It was the birthplace of Apple. Steve Jobs looked around at the mess of wires and circuit boards. "Woz, we've got something special here," he said excitedly. "People think computers are for businesses only, but what if we make one that's fun and easy for everyone? We need to think big." Wozniak, wiping sweat from his forehead, replied, "Steve, that's a wild idea. We have no money, no team. We're starting from scratch. But yeah, let's give it a shot." They faced tough times right away. Steve pitched the idea to local stores. "Imagine a computer you can use at home for games, writing, or even art." But shop owners laughed. "Who needs that? It's too expensive," one said. Rejection stung, but Steve's persistence shone through. "We can't stop now," he told Wozniak. "Every no brings us closer to a yes. Let's overcome these obstacles by making it cheaper and better." In 1976, they officially started Apple Computer. Their first product, the Apple I, was basic, a board without a case or keyboard, but it sold a few units. Then came the Apple II in 1977. It had color graphics and was user-friendly. "This is it," Steve announced to a small crowd at a computer fair. "We're not just selling a machine, we're selling freedom to create." Sales took off, and Apple grew fast. From a garage hobby, it became a company worth millions. This story captures the spirit of building something great. Steve Jobs took a risk by dropping out of college and focusing on his vision. He built from the ground up, turning failures into lessons. Along the way, new words entered English. Personal computer became common, shortening to PC. Apple's simple design influenced how we talk about tech. Words like user-friendly started popping up in conversations. Not far away, in Seattle, another young dreamer was starting his journey. Bill Gates, a smart kid from a good family, was at Harvard University. But school bored him. He spent nights coding with his friend Paul Allen. "Bill, computers are the future," Paul said one day in 1975. Let's make software that runs on any machine. Bill nodded. You're right, but we have to drop out and start now. It's a big risk, but think of the possibilities. They founded Microsoft that year. At first, it was just the two of them in a small office. We need to pitch our basic software to big companies, Bill said. They approached Altair, a computer maker. Our software will make your machines easy to program, Bill explained in a meeting. The executives were impressed. Okay, let's partner up. But early days were hard. Bugs in the code caused crashes, and competitors stole ideas. Keep going, Bill motivated Paul. Persistence pays off. We'll fix this and come back stronger. Microsoft's big break came with IBM in 1980. IBM wanted an operating system for their new PC. Bill didn't have one ready, but he thought outside the box. He bought a basic system called QDOS and improved it into MS-DOS. This will change everything, he told his growing team. People will use computers at work and home because of us. It did. MS-DOS became the standard, and Microsoft exploded. Bill's story shows innovation in action. He started from scratch, overcame obstacles like legal battles, and built an empire. Phrases like software update entered daily language, and Microsoft became synonymous with office tools. Today, when we say boot up a computer, it's thanks to these early builders. As Apple grew, success brought new challenges. By the 1980s, Steve Jobs was a star, but inside the company, tensions rose. He hired John Scully from Pepsi to be CEO. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life or change the world? Steve pitched to him famously. Scully joined, but they clashed. Steve's ideas were bold, like the Macintosh computer in 1984. It had a mouse and graphical interface, revolutionary. At the launch, Steve stood on stage. Today, we're introducing Macintosh. It's insanely great. The crowd cheered. But sales were slow at first. It was expensive, and competitors like IBM PCs were cheaper. We're in trouble, Scully told the board. Steve's vision is too risky. In 1985, Steve was fired from his own company. Heartbroken, he said to friends, "It feels like the end, but maybe it's a new beginning." This was a low point. Steve could have given up, but persistence kicked in. I have to keep going, he thought. He started Next, a new computer company, and bought Pixar, an animation studio. At Next, he innovated with advanced software. Let's build from the ground up again, he told his small team. Think big. Make computers for education. It didn't sell well, but the technology was ahead of its time. Meanwhile, at Microsoft, Bill Gates faced his own storms. The company grew huge with Windows in 1985, a graphical system inspired by Apple's ideas. But lawsuits came. Apple sued for copying the look and feel. This is unfair, Bill said in court prep. Innovation should be shared. They settled, but it was stressful. Then antitrust cases in the 1990s accused Microsoft of monopoly. We're just competing hard, Bill defended in interviews. But we need to pivot, focus on internet and new products. Bill overcame these by thinking strategically. Let's integrate Internet Explorer, he decided. Windows 95 launched with fanfare. Start me up, the ad said, using a Rolling Stones song. It sold millions. Bill's ability to take risks and adapt showed how to turn failure into success. New terms like graphical user interface or GUI became common. Now we just say click the icon. Steve's comeback was epic. In 1997, Apple was struggling. They bought Next and brought Steve back as CEO. Apple needs innovation, he announced. We're going to think different. He simplified products, launched the colorful iMac. It's not just a computer, it's a hub for your digital life, he pitched to investors. Sales soared. Steve motivated his team. We've overcome obstacles before. Let's do it again. This chapter highlights the ups and downs. Both men faced rejection and failure, but persisted. Dialogues like Steve's famous pitches teach us phrases for jobs. Sell your idea with passion. Their stories introduced words like reboot for starting over, fitting for their lives. As companies grew, Steve and Bill focused on people. At Apple, Steve built a creative culture. We hire smart people and let them tell us what to do, he said. But he was tough. In meetings, this design is garbage, redo it. Team members learned resilience. Steve pushes us to think outside the box, one designer recalled. Synergy was key, combining hardware and software seamlessly. For the iPod in 2001, Steve said, 1,000 songs in your pocket. That's the pitch. His team worked nights. We need persistence, he urged. It disrupted music, introducing podcasting and shuffle. At Microsoft, Bill fostered collaboration. Synergy between teams drives success, he told employees. They created Office Suite, Word, Excel. These tools empower businesses, Bill pitched. Windows NT for servers brought networking terms. Both built global impacts. Apple's 1984 Super Bowl ad, dramatic like a movie, coined event marketing. Microsoft's philanthropy, like the Gates Foundation, showed giving back. By the 2000s, their legacies shaped language. Apple ecosystem means connected devices. Windows Update is routine. Their persistence turned small ideas into empires. Just like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates started small in garages and overcame huge obstacles to build tech giants, you can grow your English skills with daily practice. Use phrases from this story, like think big or overcome obstacles, in your conversations or writing. Remember, persistence is key. Pitch your ideas in English, take risks in speaking, and build from the ground up. Your fluency will become a personal empire, opening doors to jobs, travel, and new friends. Stay tuned for Part 2, where we'll continue the adventure with Google, Amazon, and Meta, more stories of innovation that reshaped our words and world. What inspired you most from these builders? Share in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. Here are 8 key vocabulary words and phrases we have used in the story. I'll explain them simply with definitions and examples. Number 1. Innovation, noun. The act of creating new ideas or improving old ones. Example: the innovation of the personal computer changed how we work. Number 2. Persistence, noun. Continuing to try despite difficulties. Example: her persistence helped her learn English fluently. Number 3. Take a risk, phrasal verb, idiom. To do something that might fail but could bring success. Example: he decided to take a risk and start his own business. Number 4. Overcome obstacles, phrase. To deal with and get past problems. Example: travelers often overcome obstacles like language barriers. Number 5. Think big, idiom. To have ambitious plans. Example: if you want to succeed, you need to think big about your goals. Number 6. Start from scratch, idiom. To begin with nothing. Example: after losing everything, they had to start from scratch. Number 7. Pitch an idea, phrase. To present a plan to convince others. Example: she pitched her idea to the boss during the meeting. Number 8. Build from the ground up, idiom. to create something starting from the basics. Example, they built their company from the ground up with hard work.